Hi, I'm Lenny from the Pussy Patrol, and this is Zoe, our associate cat rescuer. Hi, Zoe. Today, Zoe is going to show us how to make an outdoor cat shelter for feral cats and rescues. So the supplies that you'll need when making the cat shelter are measuring tape, utility knife, you'll need an X-Acto knife, a Sharpie, and some duct tape. You will also need a straight edge or ruler. If you don't have a ruler, you can use the lid of the container. Next, you'll need some straw. The straw we got from another cat rescue group who donated it to us, so you can source it on the net. Rona has it for sale, usually around this time of year, October, November, and maybe Home Depot or a Canadian Tire, or you can call around to farms. Sometimes they have some excess, but usually you can get it for free wherever you get it if it's a donation for a cat rescue group. Then you're going to need not a cat, who it does not come with the shelter, but we're going to use a Rubbermaid Clever Store 95 quart container. You can get these at Home Depot for $20 or Canadian Tire as well. What's essential about this shape is that it has a flat bottom, which Zoe says when you're putting the insulation in, you need a flat bottom on these things. So no rounded edges. Makes it easier, makes it a tighter fit. It's got a nice lid on it with closing handles, and we like the shape because it's long and quite deep. And last but not least, our insulation. It's the hard insulation, the pink. It's an R5 1-inch thickness. That's really important. If you get a piece like this, it's about $11, and you'll have enough to make 2 cat shelters with the 95 quart Rubbermaid. And that's about it. Now we're going to assemble the shelter.
So we're gonna cut the bottom of the insulation, and we're gonna do the bottom first. So our first step is actually to measure the length and the width of the bottom of the Tupperware container.
Okay.
So this is 14 inches.
Okay. 14 by
11.
Yeah, 14 by 11 with the marks that we made, and draw a line. There we go. And we're ready to cut.
Perfect.
Okay, so then we take it and we should lean it up against here.
Yeah,
right.
So we'll make a little cut. It doesn't have to be a deep cut because they snap off.
Okay.
Maybe what we'll do is I'll just move it this way.
So you just want to make an indent in the insulation, right?
Like always try and cut away from your body.
Yeah.
So I'll be in front of the camera for a sec, but cutting away from the body.
And you're going to cut in about a quarter of the insulation. And it's going to snap off, so it's pretty easy. Don't worry about cutting right through. There we go. You put the insulation and you want to get it against the table. And just snapping it. There we go.
Perfect cut.
That's our bottom of our cat shelter. So let's put it in. Here's Zoe.
So there we go, our measured piece perfectly
Fits perfectly at the bottom of the cat shelter.
on the bottom. Yeah, so these are the 2 side pieces now.
So you just wedge it in there and wedge the other piece on the other side.
So we've got our
Sharpie, and Zoe's going to make a circle.
Yeah. So we decided we're going to make a hole up here. Doesn't have to be perfect because when you cut it, of course, it's not perfect. Yeah.
And when you cut it, it will look like this. So there's a nice hole. You can see kitty body. They can squeeze into that. And now we're going to cut the hole in the insulation. So once you cut this hole, and we place the insulation against that, and you do a tracer. So you trace the hole, so you can cut it on the insulation as well.
So why don't we do that?
Yeah.
So why don't we turn that around?
Yeah. So basically, fit it up against.
Yeah. And as you can see, the hole is not perfect because it is plastic.
It's really hard to cut through
And
this
it's very hard
stuff.
to cut.
You're going to want to use a utility knife, or if you got a really strong pair of scissors, once you make an indent in the plastic, foam, the insulation, cutting the hole. Your utility blade is going to be more for cutting out the plastic. Ready to pop it out?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, we're gonna, there it is,
Perfect.
pop it out. And now Zoe takes a rolly brush, lint brush.
A lint brush.
We're making a little bit of a mess. And you just want to go and pick up the excess styrofoam.
So now we're gonna put the straw in for bedding.
All right.
It's really important that people get straw and not hay. Hay is what animals eat, and it contains a lot of moisture, and it doesn't keep animals dry. Whereas the straw is what animals sleep on, and it's waterproof and very, very warm.
It's
and
dry
very
and clean. So you take pieces of duct tape like this, and we're just going to go around the opening and duct tape everywhere.
So between the plastic and the insulation,
Yeah.
just like that, to hold it together and to waterproof it
Yeah.
even more.
This is really good duct tape. Well, as you can see, there's a little example of quite a big kitty going into our shelter. All right, what's our next step?
So now we're gonna put the lid and we're done.
Right,
I think we're gonna.
let's put the lid on. So this one came with a missing end. So basically you'd have one of these and you would click it. Now as you see it, with the insulation, it doesn't sit flush sometimes. So what Zoe and I are gonna do is we're gonna duct tape the edges. Oh, this one does have another piece, so let's put that on. This should be sufficient. There's always gonna be a bit of space between the insulation and this, but it's pretty,
You know what?
pretty airtight.
We'll
We'll duct tape some of the edges
just for more.
so nobody can open it
waterproofness.
actually.
Yeah.
And then what Zoe was suggesting was some newspaper on top with a construction grade garbage bag on top. As I said, newspaper and a nice construction grade garbage bag or a garbage bag, you could duct tape that down. As well, what Zoe likes to do is she takes a little bit of light filmy plastic and makes a little
Here, we
sort
could
of
do that.
cat wipe. Yeah, let's try that. That's to ensure less blowing air in there. So she takes something like this. It's a sandwich bag or a long sort of bulk bin bag.
Yeah, with whatever kind of.
She doubles it up and then we just attach it there. Hey Giorgio.
Like so.
We'll attach it there like that. They will go into it once they know.
What it is.
Yeah. It's been your experience that they go in. Yeah. So they go in, and I wouldn't worry about airflow in there. If you are, you could lift it up slightly like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. You can actually just
You could
start
use
it
one-
off
yeah,
like this.
Start it off like that. That's
and
great.
then when the cats get used to going in there, you
Yeah.
can actually just.
So you can clip that, and then
Yeah, why
just
don't we
just
do
keep an eye on it. If it makes you feel nervous, you don't need it. You want to put this against a building, so there's less wind flowing through there.
It has to be sheltered by snow.
Yeah.
It's really imperative that it's not put in a backyard, but rather
Yeah.
on a porch.
Yeah, on a porch is good, somewhere where it's dry. If you have to put it in a backyard, put it under your picnic table or something if you've got one. But you've got to make sure that the snow is cleared away. On those heavy snowfall days of 2-3 days when it snows, you got to check your cat shelters because they get buried inside them. So we don't want that. The outlay for this is $35 because I bought the supplies today. Maybe with the extra stuff that you've got, $40. And if you're interested in buying one of these from us for $40, you can email us at pussypatrol@gmail.com. So right behind me is a cat shelter that we've made and installed in somebody's backyard. So they work anywhere, backyards, decks, under your porch, under your back porch, and they're good for the winter. So I'd like to thank Zoe for showing us how to make a cat shelter here in the cold winters of Montreal. It should be good. Thanks a lot.